The 72 Entertainment Group Podcast Network presents.
Blood King?
Vaguely.
Yeah, no, I met a couple guys from there. One of the guys is actually Mayweather's mother's bodyguard.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
He gave me a bunch of information on it. It's a thing though. It's like a entire organization for just Black Karate Federation. They take it so far as you got to have your hands registered and everything, and that's when celebrities start reaching out to you for bodyguard opportunities.
Oh, that's what's up. Well, as you heard by the beat, it is time for Always Into Something. Yes, we are back. This is MMB, and because I don't do it enough, let me get it out the way. You can follow me at MMB72 on Twitter, so we can start getting that feedback and start letting me know how much you want me to shut up on the show. But I am here, of course, in the Leo Pope Studios in beautiful, opulent Henderson, Nevada. And I am with all of my partners in crime, my brothers here. I'm with Ahmad the God. How you doing?
Going on, man. Coming back strong after last week. Man from Inglewood.
That's what I'm talking about.
Always up to no good. If y'all want to follow me online, follow me on Twitter at No Sci-Fi, SCY. I think it's PHY, No Sci-Fi. Follow me on Twitter. Get at me. Inglewood.
For sure. Parks, how you doing?
What up, though? Hey, man, I'm making it through a week of a whole lot of slicing and dicing out in the apartment, in the garage, doing what I do. You probably only want to follow me at this point.
That's what's up. That's cool.
It's all good.
And last but not least, he's here. He is here in the flesh. No shame.
It's still shameless. Still shameless.
Good to have you back, man. We missed you last week.
Yeah, it happens.
No shame sounds like he should have the Ric Flair intro after his name.
No flair needed. No flair needed.
Yeah,
just Rick? Nature Boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
No flair needed. Yeah. The Nature Boy was cold though. Hey, man, his lines, dude, his lines was out of control. Man, I was watching one, he was like, hey, he said, none of you ladies can have me. He said, none of you ladies can have me all to yourself, but everybody could take their turn. Oh. I was like, yeah, boy.
He killed me with the Space Mountain talking about it's the oldest ride in the park, but it's got the longest line.
Yes. Yes. I love it. I love when we sit here talking wrestling.
Oh, crazy.
Flair is hard. He was, to me, he was weak, but he was still a hard wrestler because it was like, his movesets and skill, but I knew his whole game. I make you look good, and I play the role. But when he get to talking on that mic, homie, he'll eat you up. You like, ooh wee. Yeah, his mouthpiece was cold.
Definitely an appreciation for Ric Flair as I got older because I did not like him when I was younger. But yeah, man, it's
so much for the show intro.
So yeah, man, yeah, this is how we entered starting the show.
The whole plan.
We just doing it,
winging it. We winging it.
Yeah, we just doing it just like this. Like I was thinking, like something else, something. Of course, I'm thinking that we can kind of get away from that, get some more lighter subjects and things like that. And I'm not going to dwell on it too much. Not that it doesn't deserve it. I mean, it might come back, but unfortunately, another person lost their life at the hands of the cops last week. What more can be said that we didn't already say? I mean, honestly, it's time for a change, and it's time that we really make some movements in a direction that's going to bring about a paradigm shift in people's thinking. And it's very difficult, when we hold on to old habits and things like that, and it's tough. to deal with. Like we talked about, like I said, I'm not going to dwell on too much. We talked about it. If you guys had thoughts on it, please feel free. Parks, did you have any thoughts on that? What was going on? How you feel about it?
Really not a fan of what happened to the fella out in Atlanta. This week I have been politely slicing and dicing. Friends who I thought were allies who aren't, I'm on your head. I'm polite. My mama can read it in church, but I am going in and talking about oppressions, talking about microaggressions, calling people on the phone. Like, hey, let me help you out. You see them folks shy away, like, no, like, I can't have it. Cool. I'm giving you opportunity before I really go in. So this has been a week for me that it was emotionally draining, but I think I made a lot of progress. And I know you can't change a group of folks who think like-minded overnight, but I'm on your head. I'm sorry. I just don't have the time or the patience. I think turning 42, it's the year of Jackie Robinson, and it's also the year of Mariano Rivera. So I might have to cross the color barrier, and I might hit you with the cutter and shatter your bat and send you back to your little dugout. That's where I'm at with life. So that's my take. Sticking to it.
Bat.
Ahmad to God, did you have any thoughts on it, man?
Yeah, man. I mean, this week I haven't really had a lot of interaction. Of course, everybody's still doing the quarantine. I have seen a little bit of progress because I've seen that a few police officers had stepped down or quit, something like that. So it's an eye-opening to see this happening, because in a way it signifies that something is actually working, something's actually changing. It also signifies that they're upset that they can't get away with it. You know what I'm saying? So my outlook is that if that's how you feel, you want to quit, leave, I don't need you anyway. Let them go. You know what I'm saying? Let their ass go. And everybody else that's stuck around still, we can weed them out. You know what I mean? Like, if we just continue to push forward. I mean, it's been a lot of negative stuff going on. You watch the news, you see, what's going on TV. For me, I try not to soak myself too deeply into that negativity, because I don't want to live in that funk. I don't want to walk around with that on my shoulders all day, even though it's always in the back of my mind. I don't want to I just don't want to live in that space, I guess you can say. So I try to focus on the positive things, and I try to look at something negative and just focus on the positive part about that. So really been eye opening. Just trying to cope with it all and live with it all. I've been seeing these stories pop up online about little black kids hiding when they see the police car drive by. I heard the story recently about a black man who is not being treated well at his job, but he was afraid to speak up because black, and people might assume he's aggressive. When I read things like that and see things like that, it kind of hits home a little bit, because I feel like as a black person, we've all been in that situation one time or another, regardless if we chose to do something different and how we reacted to it. We might have reacted different, but I feel like we've all been in that situation where we live in a mental state of mind that no one else could even fathom. So knowing that, just try to hold on to the positive, man, and just look at that and try to put everything else in the background.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. What about you, No Shame?
I really don't have I don't have much to say. Just people. It's just the way the situation is right now. It's it ain't like we shitting on all cops. Just people that's not doing their job properly. Yeah. And you still need police to police the area, and a lot of people, really just got to step back and analyze everything, including themselves, and okay, bring down the brimstone, absolutely, changes, absolutely, but you still need police to police the streets, because you're not going to do it, But it takes time, man. Well, it takes time, but I like how things are moving, though.
Yeah, I like how things are moving too. I think that you know what? I'm gonna take that back. I am. Don't get me wrong. I think the way things are moving is a good step in the right direction. You know, you've noticed that a lot of people are, a lot of institutions and a lot of buildings are being renamed. A lot of streets, a lot of statues are being pulled down, and it's like it's about time. You know, it was there for so long, but I guess it's better late than never. And it's kind of like what we talked about last week. And I hate to keep referring to that, but like I said, I don't want to get too far into this because it really is just one of those things that, you know, you touch on, and it's aggravating. It's aggravating. The one thing that I noticed this week, or what that's stuck out in my mind more than anything this week, was that Jeannie Buss, the CEO of my favorite basketball team, the Los Angeles Lakers, she put on her Instagram a letter that she received. And basically she just wanted to people, because I don't know if it has been done like this before, but this letter, suffices to say, it was very racist. You know, it started off with "Dear Whore." Exactly. So he was going. I mean, they were just like, we you know, we want you to read. We don't want you to read the rest of this because you just gonna just call me out my name in the beginning. But anyway, he goes in with these. It was a lot of N-words. Let's just leave it at that. I'm not about to just repeat it because I don't want to. But she put it on her Instagram saying that this exists, this is disgusting, it's gross, and it needs to change. And I think that was good because how many letters do these executives get? How many? A lot of them, right? You know, and a lot of them. And don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I was here during the All-Star game in Las Vegas. Parks, were you here?
What year was that?
I don't remember.
I was out there from 99 to 02. So if it fell into there, and I doubt it.
I don't think you might not have been there. But anyway.
I was down there.
Yeah, okay. So you were down there. You saw what was going on. It was a whole bunch of just you know, unnecessary stuff. You know, people
call that debauchery.
I was going to say debauchery, but I felt I overused it. But thank you. It was a lot of you know, dining and ditching, just fights, arrests, people doing things, and of course, the predominant color was black. So. We fast forward now. People were. I remember myself because I was out until about 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm driving down the Strip. You know, Las Vegas Strip in the morning time it wasn't really busy, but it's 3 or 4 cars and they're outside ghost riding a whip on the Strip, and it was just like
hypey.
Yes, it was. This is around the hypey movement, so I don't remember the dating still, but anyway, I remember the executives. There were executives from hotels that went to the cigar lounge that I frequent, and the owners or a couple of the patrons was telling me how they were talking about that, how they were talking about the aftermath, and they were like, "Oh, the NBA would never be here after all of that," and it was a whole bunch of racial epithets and slurs and all kinds of stuff. And these are high executives from a major corporations that run these casinos. So it exists because they're using them. Some of these people are using them. I'm not saying all the owners in the NBA are doing that. I'm not saying that. And that's not what I meant. But this stuff exists, but you don't really know about it because it's behind closed doors. But for her to peel back that curtain and show, like, look, this is the stuff that I get. This is what we're dealing with. And it needs to be some kind of change, and I think that's where we're headed. I mean, this is kind of a roundabout way of going there, but I think we are finally making some headway that we've been looking for a while. Is it just to placate, or is it legitimate? Is it real? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to kind of, as this goes on. That's what I will. I guess we can assess it in a later date. You know what I mean? Because it's still kind of fresh, and it's still, my alma mater. They might get rid of the mascot because he looks like I don't know,
Running Rebel, baby.
Yeah, I don't know. He just looked like a goofy dude with a big ass mustache, but but it's some kind of connotation and negative connotation that had some roots down where it was not cool and it was not. It was an oppressive type atmosphere or setting, and they're rectifying that, and I think that is cool. But the Redskins are still the Redskins. You know what I mean? And they still have a lot. The Braves are still the Braves. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm optimistic, but I'm not going to hold my breath anytime soon for this stuff. But I'm not, and I'm not going to stand in the way of it anyway. I embrace it, and I look forward to it, and I just want to see, because I think our children are I believe the children are the future. We teach them well, and we let them lead the way.
Hey, don't. We don't need no copyright.
Oh my God.
No, I get what you're saying, though.
Sexual chocolate.
I definitely. I get what you're saying. I think it's a time to have really courageous conversations. And one of the things that I'm learning that's really important is, when I grew up, it was, we're going in this house, stay in this house. And so you kept your business to yourself. And I tend to be a very private person anyway. Yesterday, my brother put something up on Facebook about how we are the first generation of men in our family who did not pick cotton since slavery was abolished. My dad stopped picking cotton in 1967 when he moved up to Michigan from Mississippi. And even in coming up here, his Southern accent was so deep that they put him in English language learning classes because he could understand them. They couldn't understand him. So it's almost as if, you are an immigrant. You're first generation beyond slavery, Jim Crow, and all of that, like sharecropping, et cetera, et cetera. And so to be able to come as far as we've been able to come is miraculous, but it still doesn't necessarily get the proper just due. And I shared a story about being marginalized in high school, trying to include African-American history into a Western civilizations class that was timely, and the teacher told me to go outside. And then she followed me outside and said I was interfering with her teaching the curriculum. And I said, well, these facts are a part of what you're teaching. And she wrote me out a pass and told me that I can go and to my counselor, switch out of the class. And so our knowledge of our own people and what we contributed to the world wasn't accepted. And to let that out, people were really receptive and wanting more, which makes it difficult for me because, again, I'm private. You don't need to know all my business. Just know that I've overcome a lot. But how much do we share? And then on top of that, do we have to? Should I? All these things that went on, because I have my story. There's so many stories I shouldn't have to share when you can go back and read it about it from someone else. Or I'm doing all this sharing. When a doctor shares their findings on research, they get paid. Like, can a brother get compensated for having to dig up these old tough memories and relive them so that you finally understand that it's real and it's been real?
Yeah. Yeah, oh, man.
Nope.
But we can segue that NBA conversation into, we talked about UNLV, and let's look at collegiate sports, fellas. Ahmad, take it away, brother.
Collegiate sports right now, talking about paying these kids. It's no secret that these guys are a $1 billion industry. Somebody's making a killing. These kids aren't even getting paid, so it's a whole ordeal now.
They're getting scholarships.
Now it's a whole big ordeal now. Now I do feel like if you play on that team or if you contribute to that team, I don't care if you don't get no playing time, whatever. You contribute to that team on that college campus. The minimum you shouldn't have to worry about food and a place to stay, and you shouldn't have to worry about your tuition. Shouldn't. You know what I mean? Now, extra money or whatever the case may be, that's different. But those should be the bare minimum. So for them to be making all the money off them students and telling them, that they have to go to practice and they have to maintain a certain GPA, and then they got to go out and a lot of them can't even, have jobs when they're playing sports. A lot of them they're not allowed to work. How am I going to support myself? What am I supposed to do? You're making billions and billions of dollars. We got a private jet, all kind of shit, and I can't even put food in my mouth. But you want me to kill myself for this team? It doesn't. I don't think it sounds fair to anyone. There's been a lot of speculation of the people starting their own leagues. LeVar Ball had a good idea for a minute, but that never really took off. Now Kyrie Irving is coming forth talking about wanting to start his own league, but a lot of players ain't rolling with that. Not rolling with him. So, it's interesting. I in my opinion is I really feel like the college kids deserve something.
But wait,
like I said,
what you said, Kyrie Irving trying to do his own league? Is it for players that don't want to go to college? They just want to go. And
players that want to be in the league and not play and get checks like him because he's always hurt. Sorry.
Basically, so basically,
sorry about that.
No, so basically, he was telling the NBA players, because he's the vice president of the NBA Players Association. So basically, what he was saying on the conference call is that I don't need to rush back to the NBA and do things the way the NBA wants it done. They could start their own league if they wanted to, because obviously the players, they might not be the owners, but they're the power. They have power. If they collectively go together, they can start their own league. But there was a lot of players that responding to that comment. They were not with Kyrie. They were just shutting it down. It wasn't the idea they were shutting down. They were just telling Kyrie, listen, you done contradicted yourself a few times on these conference calls. So now you don't have no stability in your words. So that's why they kind of fell back off for Kyrie.
And he thinks the earth is flat.
He thinks the earth is flat, He's one of them guys. Even Kevin Perkins was like, if we put your brain inside of a bird's head, the bird will fly backwards.
Damn.
That sounds like something I would say. I'm sorry. that's
damn.
It was like, it was all good when you thought, because what happened was they were saying that the NBA was talking about coming back, but if you were not eligible to play, you wasn't allowed in Orlando. So, he said when Kyrie found that out, he changed his opinion. Oh, that's why Perkins was pissed off at Kyrie.
But Perkins not even playing.
Perkins not playing, but Perkins is just calling Kyrie out on BS.
He's media now.
He's like an analyst. He has to deliver his opinion. Basically, he's saying, listen, in the beginning of the Players Association conference calls, we're on this side of the fence, Kyrie. Now, after the NBA came back with their rebuttal, you changed your whole entire view on it. You want us to keep that ride with you. It doesn't sound like what you're doing. Now confused and shouldn't be able to. We're not riding with that. You need to make up your mind. He's like, you doing what's benefiting you, or you really doing what's benefiting everybody? He was like, you making threats talking about you're willing to give it all up for social injustices and social change. Let me give you a name of somebody who actually really did give it up. And I forget her name, but she's a WNBA player who decided,
I believe. Maya Moore
left a WNBA to do exactly what Kyrie is threatening to do. He's like, don't threaten and say you're going to do it. When we got people out there that really made the sacrifice, because now you're doing them a disservice. You're going to do it. Don't threaten to do it.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think it's if you're gonna put the bold statements out like, oh, we could do our own league, don't just say that's just like pulling a gun on me. Don't just pull a gun on me and don't shoot it. You know what I mean? Because now I'm mad, and now it's going to be an issue. So it's tough because they're all millionaires from the NBA and various sponsorships and things like that. But because of basketball, they're all millionaires now, right? And that's been the goal and the dream of many players, many of children and young men and women to play basketball, and from elementary all the way up into college. They are like, well, one day I could be in the NBA. Not everybody makes it. We all know that, and it's kind of they had a movie about it, Hoop Dreams. You saw how that works, but if you're good enough to go to a prep school, because now they have everything's a prep school. It's not just, you can't just go to a regular high school. You got to go to this. What is it? Is it a U? Like the traveling schools. I forgot what they call them, but you got to be in one of those programs. You got to go to a prominent high school, and your family has to move, or you know what I mean, and all this stuff for your talent. And you're in the hopes that it's going to pay off with you signing that big NBA contract. But meanwhile, there's a little spot there. Some players stay for 1, some players stay for 2, some stay the whole 4 years, where they are honing their skills, getting better, but they are also not being compensated fairly. That's my opinion, for their work that they're doing and what these universities, and I don't want to say just the universities, but these athletic programs ask of some of their student athletes. It's you have a star player, and of course you want them eligible. So what do? They get them tutors. They do all the stuff. Sometimes they go beyond that. I don't want to speculate. I don't want to say. There was a whole thing on Real Sports about, I think it was North Carolina, and if it wasn't North Carolina, forgive me. But none of the athletes were taking tests. They had athletes that graduated that couldn't even write a sentence. But yet we send them out, and that one particular one, I think he ended up in the NFL, I think he ended up in the NFL.
Don't worry, if I write sentences, I write checks.
Yes. Now I had a friend. I had a friend tell me he used to work for Benny Binion out here he used to work with Benny Binion when Binion was, I forgot where he was at, but before Binion, Binion's Horseshoe in Las Vegas, all that stuff, the big Western mobster. He said he used to go to his room every day and read to him because Benny Binion couldn't read. And he said to him, he was like, a lot of people think I'm dumb because I can't read, but I can count. And that's all that matters.
Sound like Mayweather. Sorry.
So
TBE. Shout out to TBE.
So really, you know what I mean? But still, you think about this though, because they're selling you. They're selling you on this prestigious program, this program, this, and you're going to be able to do this, and you're going to be able to do that. They can care less what this man wants to do outside of playing his particular sport, or this woman. They could care less, and that's the feel that I get from most Division I schools. I'm not saying all of them do this. I do not agree. I don't think that they all do this. But if you are not, a championship contender in a particular sport, You don't matter. It doesn't matter anyway. Nobody cares. And that's just how it is. Because what does that get you? More endorsements, more TV exposure, more lucrative bowl games. Because bowl games, you get a lot of gifts and things like that, and it's really cool. But it's, I had to eat ham sandwiches for like 3 weeks in a row. Thanks, I appreciate this at the end of the year. You know what I mean? And you get the luau and all that, or whatever they do at the end. The point of the matter is, I remember going to the dining. We call it the DC, and I was with a couple football players, and it was late night snack. The DC was open. We're gonna get a late night snack. We having fun. We just rolling around in the dorms, and and they have a certain amount of points that they can use to eat, and these are big dudes. And what they got is like, oh, you can get a little frozen burrito, some stank ass nachos, or if you got a lot of tickets, you can get you a decent, something substantial. That's what I saw, and I was just like, man, that's crazy, because you can't, like, you don't have time to work because you got to study, and then you got to train. So when is the working going to come in? And if you do work, the money's going to start to roll in. Similar to what happened to me, the money started to roll in, and I was just like, you know what? I'm going to put this on the back burner for a minute and just start working, because I want to make some money. And there you go. But you see all of this corruption that goes on in the NCAA. We've seen it countless of times, and people have talked about it and talked about it and talked about it. What is it that people aren't really getting? Just like with all the stuff that's been going on with the race relations, and how it seems like this one incident kind of pushed us forward a few years, because we were so far behind, though. It still seems like we're where we need to be. You know what I mean? But what is it going to be for the NCAA? They've been caught countless times. Oh, yeah, this player was getting paid. Oh, they bought him a house. They bought this. Everybody saw blue chips. Yeah, I want a tractor. I want $15,000 in a duffel bag on my porch. I want a Lexus. I need my mom to have a job and a house for my little sisters. Done. But
it's go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I go back because I'm from Michigan, born and raised in Ann Arbor, and we had the Fab Five. And when you look at that document, they talked about how Nike was making millions of dollars off of the black socks they wear. They brought the baggy shorts out. They had their jerseys in shops in the on the campus area going for big money, and they couldn't afford a slice of pizza. And so when Weber was dealing with Ed Martin and accepting money or saying he wasn't, and those things came out, he was sworn away from the university for years, and they took all the banners down. They stripped them of, their Final Four stuff and things like that. And to me, it's big business where the athlete is taken advantage of, to the tune of tuition and maybe a stipend here and there. And granted, when you look at the state of Sallie Mae and Naviet now with student loans, to get out of school without a student loan is dang near a miracle in this day and age. And so for them to have their education paid for is a blessing, but they had to work for it. Now, in the NBA, you have the G League, which guys are now starting to go there. You might get $500,000 for the year. You get to practice and get your skill set right, and then hopefully it increases your stock in it. Or players are going overseas for a year or so and then coming to the NBA. So they're bypassing college, making money for that year and then setting themselves up for maybe $1 million payday or more. I think the biggest issue, and from a developmental standpoint, many of these guys aren't big enough to be in the NFL, but they have to wait. They can come out their junior year, but they have to do at least 2 years in college in order to be able to make it to the pro. So automatically off rip, you're getting 2 years off of one person. And that's every one person on every team before they can seek the opportunity to actually go make money. And so that's what bothers me. And then on top of that, the biggest thing is, okay, does the volleyball team get paid? Do they get paid with the basketball players or the who brings in the money for the university and who should be paid? And that becomes an issue as well, because there's a possibility of a lack of equity and inequality when it comes to potential stipends based on, well, the football team brings in all of the money for the entire university's athletic department budget, but we have to share it with golf and synchronized swimming or field hockey. And so that becomes the biggest issue. But I honestly think if you don't get paid, you should be able to do things that allow you to be your own independent contractor, and maybe you sign jerseys or go to kid birthday parties or be at a sporting goods store, with things of that nature. If you as a kid can take the time to hustle up and just sit down and sign some things and get some money, that's great. And it teaches them entrepreneurship as well and living off their likeness because they're their own business anyway. Beyond that, if you get some money, I'm all for it. I'm not counting nobody else's pockets, but I do feel like there needs to be more compensation than a scholarship, especially when I've had a buddy who all the while he was in college, he was hurting. And the boosters played by the rules and didn't help him. Once he graduated, they helped him, but he didn't really need it as much when he graduated. He needed it when he was in school. When he couldn't work, he needed the money. Now that I've graduated and I can get money, now you're like, oh, here's a couple of dollars for you. Oh, we wanted to give this to you. But that's where it becomes tough, because are you getting the resources when you need it? And the biggest thing for people is survival. Am I safe and am I eating? And if you're not doing any of those to the comfort of what you need, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, definitely. Ahmad, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, man. I mean, you made a lot of good points, because they'd have to consider a lot. Everyone would have to be on board with that. But then I also feel bad for the kids who have already graduated and moved on, and they're not in college anymore, but they struggled a lot or put them in a bad position when they were there, and now here we are years later, and they're looking back like, wow, they're getting paid now. Like, I wish I was getting paid, but I guess you really can't do nothing about them because it's just too many of them. But it is something to consider. I mean, it's been going on for just too long, for too many years.
They were getting them in the real world, and then they were getting them on video games too. Not only are you making money off of me when I actually am playing, but then in the digital world with video games, you're cashing in $50 a pop.
Getting over. I can't even use my own name to market myself and make my own money. You own more of me than I do.
Yep.
Oh, because you know what? I'm sorry. Just a quick chime in. Realistically, it's going to happen. I kind of hope it does, because not just with basketball, with all sports, because there are people that do, like you said, go to college. They need some compensation. Like, all right, you got your meal plan, your housing, and your books, and a lot of times, things happen in the family. You can't help out, or you need to go back home to visit, or et cetera, et cetera. It's gonna happen. I think it should. Just as far as you look at baseball, they got several divisions, AAA, AA, and they're compensated. I'm not saying they're not being compensated in college, but they even have those divisions, even though they're semi-pro. Well, actually, they're pretty much pro.
They're pro leagues.
Yeah, they're pro leagues. But I don't see. It's going to be hard. And you're going to get that backlash as far as, what about volleyball? What about cross country? But at the same time, they're huge sports altogether. It's as far as not as far as basketball and football dominates pretty much most of the athletics funding and stuff. But people are huge in like track and field. Like people, they look out for that. They want to know who's the fastest, who could jump. Like there's big money in all of it, and these kids need to be compensated. Unfortunately, it sucks that you people that have gone and came and was unfortunate to benefit from it, but it's like the older brother. It's like, it's just different now. Like sometimes you acquire certain knowledge and skills and stuff, and you refine yourself at a later time where you're more mature and you think a little bit more accurately and see a clearer picture, and then that person is able to benefit. Just because you didn't receive it, it's unfortunate, but that's just what happens, man. And at the same time, I'm pretty sure they, some would hate, but at the same time, some would be like, what, that's dope. That's dope because, but the point I was trying to make is that it's all a business thing. So I haven't seen an NCAA game as far as Madden is concerned, period. If we're talking about like, business and just franchising and stuff. And basically the Madden name is always going to be out there, but the most profitable franchise will be college sports and college leagues. And if they do so, now they're going to go to different avenues as far as business avenues. Now you're going to be able to market them, like you said, individual names, faces and stuff. And all they're going to do is just, put that on the game, and that sucker going to be vicious because I'm going to jump on it because I prefer to play college games versus like NBA, like the Madden and stuff, just because is some kid who come from, maybe a broken family, or he living with somebody just to get there, and he's doing everything right just to play the ball, hoping he could get to a next level, but to get the education and stuff. And that's why I enjoy playing those games. And
even if you don't make it, you can be like, I was on this game.
Yeah.
You can hold on to that.
Exactly. You got something.
And, baby, that was number 42. Look at me.
Yeah.
That was me.
But it's a lot of work that goes into it, man. Like what they do is work. It stopped being a game once you leave high school. It's work. Like you get up like 6 a.m, you're working out, homie. You got your schedule is filled with certain things to study, if that's the type of school that's really geared to shaping your future. Now, most schools are, and then you still have those schools that's like, we're not worrying about that. We just want to win trophies, win championships. And that's always going to be there, too. So, I don't know, man. I think it's cool.
It's funny that they brought up the games and stuff because the reason, I'm not sure if he's the sole reason why there are no more NCAA games by EA Sports or any of the other gaming developers, was Ed O'Bannon.
Eddie B.
He sued him. UCLA.
Michigan knocked him out, but that's cool.
Yeah. Ed O'Bannon sued I'm not sure what he sued exactly, but he made headway. And fast forward, because Ed O'Bannon had a couple years for the Nets, I think, before he hurt his, and he had some knee issues, and he's doing his thing, and he got this lawsuit. But we fast forward, and I'm out getting my car serviced, and Ed O'Bannon's there.
He owns some dealerships, if I'm not mistaken.
No,
he didn't look like the owner. Oh, okay, sorry.
He was just working there.
Okay, shout out to the tall guy with the job.
Man, I was just like, that's Ed O'Bannon, and I never approach people like, because they're just regular people that
yes, you do.
Left alone.
Hold the phone. Yes, you do. I distinctly remember.
No. That was because y'all gassed me, and y'all said, "Hey, yeah, y'all gassed me up," and was like, "Hey,
who? No, I gassed you up. I know this one.
What?
At the Luxor.
Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. You gassed me up. I was like, hey, like everybody was like, hey, that's what you call it. And I was like, oh, and I said, and I just said like, hey, I'm not gonna say his name because whatever. But and he was like, "Oh, hey, what's up?"
All I know is her ID was in the limo. All I know is her ID was in.
Her ID was it was multiple. Her IDs, their IDs were not in. They weren't present. But this particular celebrity, I said his name in the background. He turned around and was all love. So all right, cool.
Handshake and hug.
Exactly, for the whole crew. It was all good.
I didn't touch it. She might smell like pee.
Don't even try it. Don't even try it. But anyway.
No, I know what he sued for.
What he sued for?
He sued the NCAA basketball and football program because he felt like after a student graduated that they should have monetary rights towards their pictures and things that college would use of them to get money. So he sued for that right. So that after players graduated, they could have the rights to their particular pictures while they were in college. So no longer can make money off of me on my pictures and things. Once I graduate, I should be able to make money off of that now. So that's what he sued for. He sued to have that right.
Okay, and I think that opened up a bigger discussion, which led to you're making money off of my jerseys, our jerseys, and then they open up to the video game. So I think he might. I don't know. I don't want to say he spearheaded it, but he might have opened up that door for this discussion to happen and for people to kind of look at it and take a second look and like, maybe we should stop doing this because it looks bad, right now. So I think they always had an intention on bringing it back, but they had to work out some kind of compensation. So when you have your coaches making millions of dollars,
yeah.
And your players, you're like, hey, they're getting an education at LSU.
Oh, they're gonna be here for a year.
Yeah, especially in Kentucky, if you're playing basketball,
1 semester, really.
You know what I mean? Like you're one and done with Calipari, and what are you learning after that? Learn how to sign checks. That's all you're gonna need to know. That's pretty much what their curriculum is. Like, hey.
What does it say about an organization that will not put out a game and will say, we're going to make zero off of this versus making money off of it and sharing? You're willing to take the ultimate L to deny those folks money. And it's basketball and football, which African-American athletes make up a good 70% of the folks in the NFL and NBA.
Yeah.
So when you're willing to say, I'm not going to make a dime before I have to share money with you, that really tells you how highly they appreciate the athletes.
And that's why the athletes should to do their own thing or explore other opportunities. Now, once they start paying these athletes, you think they're going to go up on all the merchandise they sell and the ticket prices and everything else related?
Oh, yeah, they get to inflate the prices. See, that's the thing. Like, people are so greedy, they don't want to share the wealth. Like, it's like literally, come on, man. You got $1 billion. I'm not mad at you, man. You paper chasing. That's your money. I'm not saying share. That's not what I'm saying. But motherfucker, you gonna die. You're going to fucking die. And you bullshit, man. Like, you could open up this stuff where everybody could get blessed. But see, that's what's wrong. These are the situations. These are the reasons why the George Floyd happened, because everybody trying to take everything and not leave anything for everybody, for anyone else. I'm not saying I need it or nothing, but there are people who could use it, because there will always be individuals that can't help themselves, and that's just the way it is. There's always going to be haters. There's always going to be opposition. Like, it's going to be there. We can't fully eradicate it, because if that was to happen for a full eradication of ignorance and behavior, everybody needs to get on the right spiritual mind. Everybody needs to be like, God comes first. Like, you got to start adding spiritual aspects to it. Like, everybody need to be on one accord as far as that is concerned. And once you define that, then everything will slide on in. And anybody who's not in accordance to that, then you know where to put them, and then it ain't like you like, okay, this is who you are. We understand that, but we not vibing that way. This is how we vibe. So fix it, and or not. You can just do your thing right there, and we gonna do us over here. And that's just how it is, man. But it's just too many people. Man. It's like, come on, man. Like you harvesting a whole harvest all to yourself. I know to make your money, but save a little. Give to your community. Give to your people that live in your area. The people that dig in your trash, or people beg for change because for whatever reason or mental health. Let them get a taste. It's basically that's how it is, because this earth is so resilient and have the capability of just coming back vibrant after long as you stop feeding it bullshit. Like it'll bounce back no time. I mean, like in years, no time. Like trees that used to never grow start growing and stuff, but people just overconsume, man. Well, overconsume. This is when we get all this disease and poverty and mental health and this and that, because people are hungry. Look at a pharmaceutical. Motherfuckers know some of this shit. Now, some of the shit is helpful, but then at the same time, you keeping people sick, but not healing them, but getting money. And then after their body deteriorate, and now they're on like 15 to 20, 30 different prescriptions. And then they coming out the pocket, and if they don't have no type of insurance, you got to pay for insurance. Dude, I get it. It's a money hustle. I'm not mad at it. Capitalism, that's us. But man, sometimes, man, people need to just pump their brake, man, because you're gonna die. You're not bringing that dog with you. You're not bringing that big screen with you. You're not taking that mansion with you. You're not taking those fucking clothes with you. The only thing you got is your soul and your consciousness. And if that don't even belong to you, then you ain't got nothing. But that's just a thought. Sorry.
Yeah, you're right, man. We definitely need to start looking at ways to create for all and share in the wealth. And a lot of people feel like if someone else gets something, they're taking away from you. And you see it so often, and even in this, and I don't want to go back to the political things in the state of the country, but for certain people to get something, like I looked where a guy was like, oh, why is there a new holiday? As if July 4th is going to be negated and null and void. Now you see all of these statues getting taken down. You're thinking July 4th is next. And it's not taking away. It's in addition to. Right. And for me, it's like, bro, you got another opportunity to throw some meat on the grill. Last night, they were lighting up fireworks. I didn't even know. I'm like, oh, Juneteenth. Now, I've been celebrating Juneteenth for a while, but this year it seems to be even more special. And so when people decide that, hey, we can get money together and do it in a positive and productive way and help other people, then that often when people have an idea that is centered where other people can buy in most cases, we lose that the things that separate us. That could be religion, color, and I don't, money is the root of all evil, what they say, but it also can bring people together.
Exactly.
If we're working together to get money to take care of our families, in most cases, people will overlook color, or they will overlook, your sexual orientation or your race, because the bottom line is survival and taking care of ourselves and our families. And when you feel like somebody else's progress impedes your ability, then that's wrong. And in some cases, you've been living off the fat of the land for a long time. Maybe you need to allow somebody else to eat a little bit.
Hey, man, there's basically more than enough to go around, man.
Greed.
More than enough.
Old-fashioned greed.
Man, that greed's a motherfucker, man.
People out there with 2 and 3 homes, 4 or 5 mansions, and fucking starving, can't even get nothing to eat.
Yeah. I used to be like, bump that shit, but now I don't even trip off of that, man, because if a human being comes to you, I don't care if they got the rainbow sticker on their forehead or, on their armpits. I don't care, if they obese. I don't care if they Indian or Indonesian. It doesn't matter. If they like, hey, man, I'm hungry. can you help me out? But all right.
But not everybody look at it like that, because you could look out for your own, but some folks from certain cultures, you're at a intersection and you see a homeless person. Now, if it's a woman who's claiming she's pregnant, you might give money. If it's a certain type of person, you might be like, you've had every advantage and you still out here begging. Nah. Or you might see somebody who look like you, and you be like, oh, yeah. It all depends on where you are and what you want to donate to. Now, just because you don't give to one doesn't mean you don't give to another. And I'm sure just because I didn't give, that doesn't mean that someone might not look at that person and say, that could be me. I'm going to give. I think in whatever circles that you run in, you should try to give and then maybe expand upon that as best you can.
Right. You know, I'm not tripping off the money. The money thing is money thing. You know, I put my brakes on that.
Shout out to the headphones. I ain't talking about the money.
The money thing. Yeah, it's all good. It's just like my whole thing is like, damn, man. People talking about make American great, make it like, man, fuck that shit, man. Why the fuck are we rushing over to help motherfuckers and we got people? I got a grown man or a grown woman asking if they can help, like they're hungry. They just want something to eat. They're not asking for change, just something to eat. Are you fucking serious, man? All right, I'll be in there in a little bit. Close my door. And it's like, are you serious? You mean everybody, you know, you're a Trump supporter. America great. Nah, man, America ain't great because we got motherfuckers who need to eat can't eat. You mean everybody can't eat? I'm not saying everybody need to be living lavish. I mean, you can't. And ain't nobody got a sandwich.
People could be happy on their level. Yeah. Meaning you don't have to make a homeless person a millionaire, but there are some homeless folk, like, you give them a job, they're going to work it. You give them something, they're going to use it. But then there are others who are out here hustling. And right. I think those people, the bad people, in many cases, outshine the good people.
They do. But I also met a lot of good people. But my whole thing is like, man, well, why the fuck are people talking about how great America is? We got people still starving. America ain't fucking great. When America be great, everybody go to bed with full bellies. I'm not, or something in their bellies. I've been around kids, like, doesn't matter, kids. I'm talking about kids, and they're like, dang, man, I don't eat like this at home. I don't get food often. That's fucking bullshit, man. I mean, there's programs out there, there's people doing their thing. I'm not saying that, but it's like, everybody can't eat? At least that? Crazy. All this food, all this fucking food, these goddamn buffets, big ass motherfuckers on Rascals, motherfuckers can't even walk, and niggas missing meals? That shit's bullshit, homie. 100% bullshit.
Yep.
Like, crazy. Like, I mean, racism is bullshit. It's like, but we still, you know, we got racism and we got people starving. That's crazy.
How better would America be if you could eliminate racism and hunger?
Homie, it will be the illest power.
We really have
world. Could nobody mess with us?
We really have a lot of people jumping over here,
dude. Because when you got something in your belly, homie, you know your situation really don't look so bad. At least I got something to eat.
It's worldwide, though, man.
I'm hungry. I got an attitude. Shoot,
that's worldwide.
No, it is. It is. I'm not saying it's gonna be perfect, but it's just like, damn, man. There's several. Don't get me wrong. There's several programs out there. There's people doing their thing. You know, there's government programs out there. They're doing their thing, but it's like, come on, man. Like, why are kids missing meals? First of all, I can see an adult, but why are children missing meals in the United States of America? Shouldn't be an issue. Simple. It's crazy. And then people get upset when food get the kicking in the windows and open up the door to wave in the fofo. All that.
Um,
Sorry, I'm getting off topic, but
That's what I heard. I had to step away. I apologize, but I had to hear a Biggie lyric when I came back. That was awesome.
If people talk about looters, when a person gets a television that they don't necessarily need, what are they going to do with it? When they get shoes or things that they don't need, what are they going to do with it? They're going to flip it and sell it to someone and get money to pay for the things that they really need or they really want. When you're opportunistic like that, you say, I can get this TV and I can use that and sell it at a discounted rate. Like, for example, I was in the dollar store getting a Father's Day card, and this lady was she was upset because her ex-boyfriend bought her a Michael Kors bag. And she didn't want to accept it because that would have meant something. And in my mind, I'm like, shoot, get that, holler at me. I go to the ATM, meet you in the parking lot. We can flip that. My wife would be happy, but I don't want to see him lose and buy something for someone who doesn't appreciate it and is only going to flip it. But I understood the capitalism in my heart, like, girl, you don't want it. You can sell it. But at what cost to the guy who's purchasing it or for full price? But that's the world we live in.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That world.
Whole world. I'm just gonna throw it out there real quick. You talking about white, black. We talking about basically poor people, and some rich and some privileged. You go over to a country, and I'm not saying I agree with it. You fighting these battles and stuff. Hey, man, you come back, you can't find work. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't. Like, what's up with that? Like, that's a crap of bullshit, homie. You got people going around dying for something that I may not even know what's going on, or protection or whatever it is, and they struggling to fit back in. Like, how the fuck is that happening? And this any president who been up in there, like, why motherfuckers got to come back and they can't find a job?
Historically, that's how they treated black military members. When you went over and fought, and you come back and you couldn't wear the uniform, and I think we addressed this last week, where you might die wearing that uniform. Now, the average everyday veteran is being treated like the historical black veterans. I'll hand on for you, man. You're on your own out here. You got the VA hospital, but that's the VA hospital, for better or for worse. It's better than nothing, but you come back, thanks for your service. You get a free meal with your DD-214 at Applebee's on Veterans Day. So you got one meal a year coming for free for show. Everything else, get it how you live.
Hey, man, I think that's cold, man. You sign up for something now, and I'm not talking about like, I mean, this shit's just crazy, man. You putting your life on the line. Basically, there's a chance that you could die serving or protecting this ideal of what America is, and then you come back alive and you put in some years, and they're like, oh, good looking, we'll give you a little check. A lot of people come back with PTSD and certain addictions and stuff because of what they seen and what they had to do.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I'm thinking it was the Civil War that it was Irish people came over to America, and as soon as they came off the boat, they were enlisted to fight in this war.
In order to to come over here and get your plot.
You were over, yeah. But then when the war was over, you will find it Irish need not apply. And same thing, the Italians didn't have to go for that, but they were still discriminated against for being Irish. But they fought for this country.
That happened when they were first coming over here, when they told the folks that they were bringing that it was gold everywhere. So they had these people developing the land and all of that stuff. You get over here and you didn't find gold until 49? San Francisco, shout out. Yeah. But people were promised certain things, and the companies who were financing the trips were taking back the logs and the textiles and all of that stuff, and then they were getting rich, and the people were becoming indentured servants to the land that they thought would be milk and honey. And then after that happens, when the people who are there are fed up and don't believe in the folks who said it would be great, well, then you usher a new workforce to take your place. Yeah. And unfortunately, that was my people.
Yeah, well,
hey, yeah. It's a cold thing, man. It's you hate to hear those things, and it's still continue to recycle. It just goes down to like you really got to examine a person's heart, man, because that money thing is so vicious. Capitalism is a very vicious thing if people isn't careful, because you could get really sucked into it real fast. Real fast.
Did you guys?
And we're already sucked into it.
Did you guys see what is it? The Five Bloods, the Spike Lee joint?
I still haven't seen it yet. I'll probably watch it this weekend.
I need to watch it.
It got to be ill because it got my boy Delroy Lindow.
I did see it.
So I'm not gonna spoil it for anybody, but when you talk about capitalism and things getting in between people, you will see in this story how one person's basically how my suspicions maybe, or they're trying to be overly cautious. It turns out to be a much bigger issue down the line, and things start to spiral out of control. Just based off of one action, just because somebody's like, well, things can happen when you have X involved. I'm not gonna tell you I'm not trying to spoil it, but things happen.
Hope you don't. I really hope you don't.
And this is boom, boom, boom. So, we could do a review about that at a later date if you want to. But I thought the movie was entertaining. It wasn't like earth shattering to me, but it was an entertaining movie. There was some good performances in there, and then it was anyway. I'm not gonna say no more. We'll talk about it later when everybody else seen it.
Yeah, the cast is immaculate, man. I seen all those actors do their thing, man. Those brothers, they know how to say some lines, man, and they know how to characterize the character that needs to bring that motherfucker to full life.
Yeah, you're right.
Spike Lee right there. Spike Lee joint.
Okay. Yeah. So okay. So now piggybacking off of that, because we'll all of these subjects that we talk about on Always Into Something, the four of us get into and we start discussing things. We always, we can always come back and discuss and things like that, and maybe have a different opinion because we're grown adults and maybe we get educated on something. So I like that. I like that atmosphere. So that's great. But what I wanted to go into next was speaking of movies. So I did this. A buddy of mine came up with this tournament idea, right? So we were going to do a 64 team, quote unquote team tournament. But what it turns out, we're doing 64 movies that were going against each other, and we called it the Totally Bitchin' 80s Movie Tournament, right? Cheap plug for my, the YouTube channel. Go to 72 Entertainment Group. You can check out a couple of the brackets are up. Go vote, whatever. But I had an idea that we can continue doing something like that and expand upon it with hip hop artists. Now, but also my thing was, so like if we all had like a squad, like, okay, brackets. And so how they have 4 regions in NCAA tournament. It's 4 of us, and we'll each have a region, and we'll have our respective artists, and then they will go against each other, and we'll all vote. the other two will vote against those artists, or I mean, between those artists, and see who will win.
That's ill.
So if we did something like that, like an overarching kind of thing where we can get into it. We don't have to get into it next week or anything. We could just kind of think about it a little bit more, then unveil it. But I think that would be kind of dope. And the only thing about that I'm concerned with, because I know a few of us are going to have similar taste in artists and how we're going to pick, and I don't want to have double up. You know what I mean?
There are enough artists where we could, if we each had to come up with 5, and someone took 1 or 2, because in most cases you can almost tell who might be in the finals. So do we take certain mugs out because they're on the Mount Rushmore? And I think maybe the Mount Rushmore approach might be, who's your Mount Rushmore for?
Well, because
exactly,
that Rushmore, that's your Biggie and your Pac, because those that's just that one of those things. It's like,
but that's your Rushmore though,
Biggie.
Man, that's cool. Hey man, I ain't mad at you. All right, well I'll take that back. Hold up.
I didn't correct you on Pac now, but Biggie.
Ahmad Tagato was Sir Mix-a-Lot and Master Ace. That's on his Mount Rushmore.
Ooh.
You got Sir Mix-a-Lot and Master Ace on your Mount Rushmore.
How did I get them on my Mount? How?
Hey, my Posse on Broadway was a banger, homie. My Posse on Broadway.
So was Hey Bay Bay, but that man's still on trial for murder.
Mix-a-Lot?
No, Hey Bay Bay was a young Chris or Hurricane Chris. He's
Chris.
Murder charges. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Oh yeah.
Hey Bay Bay was a hit too.
I mean, we got to come up with. So I guess we can kind of go into like the criteria and stuff like that. What does it take? Because you can.
There you go.
You could think about your particular top 5. Mine would be that, but you got to think strategically too, because like, okay, what if boom, and and it's tough. But then I was thinking about doing a draft, but who would be in the draft? Like, you'll pick. Okay, so say for example, let's just say we did 5 each.
All right, 5.
All right. So we'll do that. We'll do a draft, and whoever the order we pick, we'll pick our teams, and then we'll just line them up, and we'll do what we need to do. So there's no overlap.
Okay.
See that, So okay, right. So we'll come up with a mechanism to determine the number 1, and then we'll start going into this. Let's say, because where are we at now? We're in the 20th of June.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah, so we can start. Let's say we start this in July,
so tentatively, and not to cut your wisdom, but tentatively, I'd like to go around and get a top 3 to 5, so we know.
Yeah, top 3. 3
to 5, because it's 3
to 5. Okay. Yeah, all right. I'm with that.
Wait. That's giving away stuff.
It's just we want to. You want to hear
rough
it.
draft.
We just want to hear the rough draft. That's all.
Yeah.
All right. Who wants to go first?
I think everybody's opinion is going a little, different, because you could take the same rapper and 2 people can see the 2 different things in that rapper, or enjoy two different things about that rapper, and that's why they put that rapper where they put him. And everyone has a reason, and a strategic reason on why they have that particular person or individual in their top 5 versus somebody else might have a different reason for having them or not having them. So perspectives are interesting.
All right, so who wants to divulge their top 3 to 5 right now? Parks.
I mean, I don't mind going.
You wanted to do this. Go ahead.
What up, though?
Hey, what you got, Parks? What you got, man? I'm interested.
Okay, so first and foremost, for me, born on the same day, shout out to Tupac. And the reason being is while he may not have been the most creative rapper in terms of like a Kendrick Lamar or a Eminem, you felt him in your soul, and he presented different parts, whether it be Brenda's Got a Baby or Hit 'Em Up, and so that mine would be Pac.
Okay.
From an old school standpoint, with storytelling, maybe not always the best, but complete albums and impact and influence, I got to go with Uncle Face, Scarface down in Texas.
Oh, for sure. Hey, for sure. Like,
don't you interrupt me? What
sorry, my bad.
let me get my rounds off, bro.
Yeah, get them off.
Okay. For longevity, creativity, and creating something out of nothing, and being a focal point and a mogul, I'd have to go with Jay-Z. Reasonable Doubt up into 444, and any greatness or potential blunders that you can go back and hear, I'd have to go with Hove. Number 4 for me, although his body of work as a solo artist isn't what it would be for most folks, when Southern Playalistic Cadillac Music came out, Andre, another Gemini, whew, I mean, he speaks to your soul. Yeah, I get the Hey Ya. At first, I was like, this is a Big Boy album with, Dre doing his own thing, but I came to love Dre doing his own thing better than the Big Boy album. And then my unsung hero, who creates his own beats and writes his own raps and doesn't get the commercial notoriety, but is solid and pays homage to the old, but still is a cat from Meridian, Mississippi, who is spitting, and he makes his own beat and is 10 mixtapes in. I'd have to give it to none other than Big Crit. And if you don't know about Big Crit, allow me to introduce that man. I met. Woo! So
I met him. Be hard.
Okay, well, I appreciate the congratulations and appreciate what I do, but he is my version of a young Pac in terms of speaking to your soul, but also tell you about 215s in the trunk and rattling and gripping grain and Cadillacs and Chevys and all the things. I'm sitting between two Chevys right now, a 96 Impala SS and a 2015 Chevy SS, and I had the 07 Trailblazer SS. So I'm all about 4-door Chevys with bed motors in them. And Big Crit exemplifies that old school 8-Ball and MJG, Pimp C and UGK with Bun B, Dungeon Family, T.I. He represents the South in a manner that most folks who are into that really understand. But he doesn't get the notoriety of a J. Cole or a Kendrick Lamar or Big Sean or someone who might win the Grammy. But he does it all himself.
Oh no, I know what's
up. He a dope talent, bro. He a dope talent.
Yeah, he is, and he's just an humbling spirit too, man, and just real conscious on the mic.
I put my 5 up against anybody. Who on war?
Your 5 is trash. But anyway, go ahead.
You know what? I mean, honorable mention to Nip. Honorable mention to Nip.
Honorable
mention to Nip.
Hey man, no. We taking one of my top 5. All right.
Okay, tell me about Daz and Corrupt.
Snoop Dogg.
Tell me about Goldie Loke.
You know what I'm saying? Trey D, Triple OG. Yeah.
Hey,
tell me about Snoopafly.
Yeah, you know what I mean. No, okay. So look, if I'm going there, if I'm going next,
let's go.
I'm gonna go with. I got to do it. It's my favorite rapper of all time, Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg from the LB.
I mean, nothing but the G thing. Just the way he was able to transcend, and nobody was talking about Long Beach before Snoop Dogg came out, and it just changed the game. That style, that flow. Yeah, it's some questionable stuff, but a lot of people have it, and it's in there, and it's cool. But I can respect this game because it's the longevity. Because man has made many hits. Okay. I hate to do this because I do. It's one of my favorite songs from this East Coast artist, and his whole body of work has been kind of suspect, but the couple songs that he did, that one song in particular, "Love's Gonna Get You," and it was part of a group, but it's KRS-One.
Oh yeah. All right, okay, yeah. KRS,
he hit hard.
You know what I mean? He just like that storytelling. Because we talked about storytelling, and he came before all of them. I was gonna go with Nas, but then I was like, Nas is KRS-One. That "Love's Gonna Get You." That story that he told was just from we had nothing to now we rolling in the BM. And the people that we used to love, that used to ride with us, are now shooting at us. It's a great.
We got Miss Melody.
It's a great story. With Miss Melody on the hook, that was tight. Okay, so we got Snoop, KRS-One, then we got Tupac. You got Tupac number 3. You already said everything about it. I mean, the dude was able to hit the emotions with the Dear Mama. He was able to get you riled up. They gave you a nickname. Remember, No Shame, when we were sitting in the car with Cram Nevis and Big Dana, and
all government names.
War stories. War stories.
Outlaws on the rise. Jealous.
Cram Nevis, man, dog.
Nevis.
And he was cool. He was cool as hell. Every time I hear that name, man, I Cram Nevis. What?
Yes, Cram Nevis. But so Tupac just all right. We already established that. And I got to go with Nipsey. Nipsey was coming up, and he was doing a lot of good things, and not just in music. But this is based off music. But what I think that I love the maturity that he was showing in his work, because he was just going to be another Snoop clone, but then he kind of stepped out. He kind of stepped out and began to do other things and became more enlightened. And more enlightened, and it showed in his verses, and you can hear it. And especially, he was always talking about rolling in Mercedes, and that's what I like to do. But anyway, so then this one is tough because I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it today, like, man. You have some really good spitters and people that spit, and I'm more of West Coast. I gotta have the whole vibe. You know what I mean? Like you can
clap on the beat, Metal Cat.
You know what I mean? Like that. I mean, the voice got to come in just right, and just got to mesh well, and the hook. But if you're talking about spitters, there's several different spitters, and I was never a fan of the Wu-Tang Clan growing up in high school when they first came out. I grew to appreciate them later. But this particular person, when he first came out, I was like, And then that second album came out, I was in. Then the third album, I was like, I'm back out. But I cannot deny his ability to spit. And it's Eminem.
I can see that. Yeah. Nah, he got flows. Yep.
Eminem can flow.
I'm here. I don't want to be able to go outside, but yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Eminem can flow, and that Marshall Mathers LP is a straight. That's a Just Play album. And I know he has several other albums and like all that other stuff and whatever, but to me that one really resonated, and it was just. But again, that's the West Coast influence because it was a lot of West Coast artists on that album. You know,
that's right.
You know what I mean? But if I'm gonna give an honorable mention to somebody, because I think that was my 5, right? Yeah. I'm gonna go with The Game.
Yeah.
Because The Game, his flows. I remember when last time you was out here, Ahmad, you played this song, and I was like, man, that song is tight. And I didn't know what it was. It was Hug the Block. Hug the Block. And I was like, man, that song is tight.
I'll still be banging that.
Me too. I was like, dude. I was like, man, it's a good song. He tells a story. He can get in. He can go in. He can tell jokes. I mean, but that's an honorable mention. And I am West centric. You know, you do have your Kanye West and all that stuff, and you know, Kanye West is a good. You know what? Let me shut up because I don't want to take nobody else's time. So go ahead. Whoever wants to go next.
Who's left?
I guess I could go. I'm not putting them in any order. I'm just gonna give you 5. But
yeah.
This list is one of those difficult things because you got your Tupacs and your Biggies. You know, of course, you know, Pac is on the list just as far as everything hip hop is concerned, as far as like after like his, you know, toenail been in the soup, like everybody was like kind of like everybody got on the grind, you know, like you had like different kind of people that can relate to the message just because of the context that he was putting in, which was dope. Like he brought a lot of people together. Like a lot of people, white people started listening to it. They really started understanding your parents. They're like, oh, I like this, just because of just the politics he talked about and social issues. That's one. Another one.
Wait, I'm sorry. Who was it?
Oh, that was Tupac.
What?
Tupac.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. My second, I'm going to say my boy Redman, Reggie Noble, and the reason why
he's so underrated.
Dude, he's so. First of all, he's so underrated. What's so cold about me? Underrated. Thank you. What's so cold about him?
That he wired.
He's. Oh my God, he's a monster, man. He'll body anybody. It's just like, you know, it's just he don't, you know, he's just a real nigga. And he's so dope that he was in the game at 19 and he was dope. And he rode with Eric Sermon. And Eric Sermon is hard. You talking about like Eric Sermon, Rakim, you talking about people making $1 million off of rap.
Eric is making dollars.
Man, Eric Sermon is hard. Fools be forgetting about him. He makes his own beats.
That's why I don't know about that list, but yeah, go ahead.
But I know. But Redman for sure, man. People sleep on him. I guess I'm definitely gonna put Face on there just because Scarface.
Okay.
Stupid bars, man. Stupid bars. Lyrical. He'll body you, gangster. Like he's been immaculate. He's been immaculate since day one. Ghetto Boys, Pac, beats, all that. Ill. Oh man, there's so many dudes. This is gonna change when I'm just tossing them out there. Know what? I'll say Prodigy, man, from Mobb Deep, man. Prodigy from Mobb Deep.
Okay.
Dude, man. Because actually, I got the album, the Mobb Deep album, and Marlon was like, "Oh man, you know, I don't hate it. It's just, you know, I'm not feeling it." And I bought it from Marlon, and I ain't never went back since. Like, they've been on my squad, and Prodigy, I mean, his flows is vicious. I got everything that he dropped.
Oh yeah,
it's been a lifetime in between the papers line.
Yeah, he's vicious.
Peace Bank glass tape. Oof.
You know what? I won't throw. I'm gonna throw my nigga Raekwon in there just because that's my nigga, man. All day, pots and pans. Raekwon is so cold, and he got a whole lingo that is just his, and like he writes his own stuff, and it's Raekwon the chef from Wu-Tang Clan, man.
No. I know.
Follow him on Instagram. You see all the shoots.
No. Lucius like what's his name? Tony Stark. Ghostface.
Ghostface is my dude too. Like they go hand in hand. Like Face is ill. Face is like that's my man, pots and pans.
But
Ghostface is like, but Shala Capricorn, that's my dude, man. Like it's just his. Oh man, I mess with Raekwon all day, every day, man.
Okay.
And I guess, and you know what? And my little honorable that people are really sleeping on, and he's been killing, man. He's the last 3 to 4 albums. Royce, man. Royce
5'9".
He's dude.
Better.
Beast.
A beast, and he's relentless. And like his albums, dude. His albums, man. That. Oh my God! What was the story of what was that album he dropped? The story of David or whatever that was. It's like the one before the one that just dropped, or
is that with the Babylon boat on there and all that?
Yeah, man.
Bible Island is real, bro. Been there,
dude. Just it just. The intimacy and and how
the Book of Ryan
personal, the Book of Ryan, he put himself out there, man, and I felt it because it was real, it was genuine. He didn't lie about it, and I was like, just a very cohesive project. Like he been hard, but I'm talking about putting things together, making songs and hits, and like his like last 4 albums. I mean, all his albums are hard, but his last 4 albums, just complete beast fire, man. Just fire for the beast. Just ill for anybody who want to get it. They could get it. Like Royce, man, like that. People are really sleeping on Royce. Like sleeping. Like he's saying something. He's saying a whole lot.
We could do a slept on list too.
Yeah, I like that. I like that list. So what you got in mind to God? What you got?
First and foremost, I mean,
Dylan.
Bit hot fire.
All night, no work.
And
hot fire.
But for me, my number one pick for Sway has always been the same. It's always going to be the same. But for me, it's Tupac. So, like coming up, I used to get a lot of his music that wasn't released. It was beyond what you were seeing in the store. So I was able to get my hands on all the Machiavellis and all the little underground shit he used to do. And
Shady Dubs.
I started listening to that. It's just, for whatever I was going through at that point in time in my life, listening to Tupac helped me out like you wouldn't believe. Like, you know what I mean? Just like everybody was saying, like, he just talked to your soul, man, and he speak on the things that a lot of people aren't afraid to speak on, and things that need to be addressed. He just really are like a real passionate dude. So I always been a fan of Pac.
Okay.
Moms can't stand me because I'm looking like my father.
And Pac was always like I'm talking about, he was like the street pastor, bro. He was like church, man. He'll take you to church. I mean, but he got his thug passion and he do some shooting at the same time,
Right.
Like, so for me,
off-duty cops, though. Only off-duty cops.
Pac was legendary. How many guys can shoot at 2 cops and not go to jail? Be a black guy. That's a legend status.
Right.
We're not even gonna talk about the rapping and acting. That's legendary alone.
Not saying his cops should be shot at.
No, but what I'm saying is that he didn't do no time. He got off.
Yeah, we don't condone that here. The 72 Entertainment Group podcast
no,
network.
what I'm saying, but
that.
for him to be like acquitted, like I was like, what? You know, that was always my number one dude. You know.
Okay.
Number two, me has always been Jigga, always been Jay, been Jay fan from Reasonable Doubt. He always had a different style. He was always self-made. He was always his own dude. Never influenced. He only put the truth in his raps. He never had to write the rhyme. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Jay was just that cat for a long time. So always rode with him. Always was cool with his style. Jay is like just one of them guys that's just it's hard to stand up to all the things he accomplished.
Yeah,
got it.
And when you listen to him, you can hear influences from so many rappers. You can hear Tupac, you can hear Biggie, you can hear Rakim, you can hear all these rappers when you listen to him. So when I hear Jay, I hear like what made Jay as well. His favorite rapper is Scarface. All that shit when you listen to him rap.
If like a lot of people they bring up Scarface, you know they know about rap and hip hop because Scarface was ill before like hip hop was hip hop.
And he wasn't from New York.
Exactly, he's South and he wasn't West Coast. It wasn't gangster rap. It was this Southern. He brought that Southern that people didn't know, but it was lyrical and it was vicious. And it was immaculate. He's a businessman. He wasn't stupid. Everything was like, he's a technician, man.
At Jordan.
Yeah.
Uncle Face, I owe him $20 just because I didn't pay enough for his music.
Yeah, man. So
it's all good.
I think my third artist will probably have to be Oz. I'm gonna say that is because Oz has always been in his own lane.
Yeah.
Always been able to like. So it's very few rappers that really want to touch on what needs to be touched on because try to stay away from that. So for him having the courage to do that and successfully being able to do it
over whack beats,
whatever, like
key. That's why he's so hard. Over beats that's
some of the beats are cool, but the way he rides the beat, he make the beat. Beat don't make him.
Exactly. He'll make it work, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
You were like, okay, I'm feeling the song, but the beat wasn't all that. But you made it just because of your scheme and how you played it.
Versatile. He is a very versatile. I mean, even the album he came out with Damian Marley. Did you hear that album? That album was dope.
Hot fire.
Hey, he a versatile dude, and just like I said, he got his own style, and he a classy dude. He not the kind of guy that's gonna follow the crowd like, yeah, you know, I had sex with your wife and I'll rob you and all that. He's like the bar as far as like the classy standard. Like, I love my enemies. Like, no, I hate you, but I don't want to destroy you type of dude. Like, he's like the balance in hip hop. I look at him like the balance. And it was even a story where him and Tupac got into it, and he had Tupac completely outnumbered, and Tupac was acting a damn fool. Nas kept his cool. You know what I'm saying? Nas just kept his cool. Like Nas is always about like understanding and love versus just like first thought in his mind is just go kill up some shit. Like, he just a bar. You know what I mean? So Nas has always been in my top 5, always will be. Right, and then my number 4th pick, from day one, I've been fucking with this cat. You know what I'm saying? His entire career, his flow is pretty much like unstoppable to me. That's Andre.
Yeah, Andre 3K. Yeah.
Andre 3K.
3 stacks.
3 stacks. Joe.
Hey. I mean, really, he don't need no introduction. Like, we all have seen what he could do. He's just versatile. He's just that dude. And of course, he unique. He got his own thing going. But he always been like, you know, and plus he from the old South, like when the South was really starting to make a name for themselves. You know what I mean? Like,
I got something to say.
Yeah, the South got something to say. When he got up there and made that speech, he gave the South. When he got up there and made that speech, he gave the South a voice. You know what I mean? And then he gave them that exposure. And then after that, people started to really pay attention, and they started to get more sales. And that opened up the doorway for Master P, and the Cash Money Boys, and all that. It just came in blazing saddles.
Yeah, 3 stacks is. He's on my list, and he's like one of my tops. But we just throwing this out. But yeah, he deserved to be on there for sure.
Stack.
For sure.
And then my fifth person that I want to talk about, Bay Area legend, Cat is the most. Cat is the most creative cat you're gonna find. He got his own language. He got his own language, and he been doing it for a long time consistently. And he's very consistent, talking longevity, and we're talking about bangers. I mean, every album on the disc or whatever, every song might not be a banger, but always gonna give you at least a few of them to take to the club with you or just bump in your car or whatever. 40 has been consistent. I mean, he just been doing it for the longest, man. You can listen to almost any album right now, and you gonna bounce your head.
40 water.
And I'm gonna shoot an honorable mention. Another cat I've been rocking with for a while. It's Fabulous. Yeah, man, he just.
He has flows, man. He does.
Flows is ridiculous.
Just throw it in the bag.
No
mixtapes he be dropping. Man, they probably doing better than people's real albums.
Hey, what's crazy that you mentioned, because a lot of people sleep on him just because he gets a lot more. I guess his popularity comes from the flows where he's talking about female or the opposite sex type, because those go, and then women dig those things,
Right.
But he's not
when he hits
soft.
woman.
Yeah, he's not soft at the same time. The rhymes are still hard, which is dope.
I joke around because that was like a little inside joke between me and the late Mr. Yanish, but Fabulous goes hard. Yeah, young Bear. We used to always when that song came out. Me and him, we like, what is this? Just throw it in the bag. Oh. It was like, what is Fabulous doing? Like, but that breathe song goes hard. Oh man, you know what? I was listening to some of these because it's too many one-hit wonders. Not too many. It's just, I guess, appropriate amount. The one-hit wonders. You like G-Dep, Special Delivery. You remember that? Anybody remember G-Dep?
Yeah, Special Delivery. They had the bells in the ringing, and then didn't the remix came back and Craig Mack jumped on it. Oh yeah, Mackety Mack,
Yeah, he came back, and then you had Black Rob. Like, whoa. You know what I mean?
Dude, hey, that song get turned on, man, and my knees get to bobbing. Like, I gotta get up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not dancing, but I gotta get up.
I liked it, but there was a line in there that I just, I couldn't. That's why I disqualified Biggie.
What?
Fingers near. I just no, thank you.
You said what?
Fingers near. Like, whoa, no, that ruined it.
Oh, yeah.
Whoa, I'm like, whoa.
Like, whoa. It was like, that, that Breeze song. I'm not saying Fabulous is a one-hit wonder, but that Breeze song was like in that same. It reminded me because it went hard. But then when you listen to the content, because the Black Rob and G-Dep, I didn't really. It was like whatever, you know what I mean? The beat was cool and how they were conveying the message was cool, but they really weren't. It was no substance to it. But when I listen to Breathe, I'm banging it. I'm like, and then he's talking some good shit in there. I'm like, okay, that just got some flows. So,
bro.
So I'm like, all right, cool. Then I'm thinking about all of those, like, you talked about the Craig Macks, and it was a lot of Bad Boy after Biggie. That people that were trying to find the next one. Mace had a few hits. Mace had a good run.
Mace could flow though. Mace had a good run.
All
right, he's talented. He could write and he could flow.
But
Mace sounded like he had a teaspoon of something special ed in his mouth.
Yes, he did.
But that's
Mason back
it's
there.
one of those things is people they're like, oh, you sound like this or your voice this, so you have to like make a distinction. Because I listen. I go back and listen to a lot of interviews, like old school rappers and stuff. Like as far as Cypress Hill, God, dog, man, I can't even think. Be real. And he was, and as far as before he was coming out, he was flowing on the mic. The dude was like, "Listen, man, your voice is trash, man. You got to do something about it." And then so he just came up with the whatever the pitch or tone that he flows in, and the dude was like, "We got something." And then it's been gold since. So it's people think like you spit on the mic and that's it, and it is really not.
It's more like
it's really not. You got to have the right inflections and projection and enunciation with your words because it's a product.
Right. I felt like that with Kendrick. At first, I was like, no. But then, Good Kid, Mad City on a ride. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. And then you got MC8 on there.
Right. Yeah. Oh, man. Well, I remember MCA used to come on tracks. I used to love it. Yeah. Oh, MCA on this? Yeah, real
motherfucking he'll go my fast up for the 9-3 shot.
Yeah.
8 hype in the motherfucking
Take your punk ass up.
Yeah. And so, you know what? You know who I forgot, and who was not a one hit wonder or anything like that, but because you made who's that guy that you said? Was it you, Parks? The big Crit, whatever his name was, Big Grits.
KRIT, yes.
Big Grits.
Yeah. Go back.
KRIT.
That boy nice. That boy real nice.
Okay, so you he reminded me when you said that. The person that I think of when I hear about that is the one man band, DJ Quick.
No, he on my list too.
You know what I'm saying? That dude got the flows and he got the beats. And those. I mean,
and he wrote his own.
He wrote exactly, and I liked I could listen to Summer Breeze on a summer day or a summer night, just chilling, listening to Summer Breeze. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And everything. Like, no, he's hard. He definitely. You know what? He's definitely one of the top dudes.
Underrated.
Yeah,
like on the West Coast that don't.
The one and another one that's been like that, or that was that he started off like there's a 6-minute version, or I'm sorry, it might be even 7 minutes of 6 in the morning by Ice-T. Man, you talking about going on a ride because he's just like 6 in the morning, police at my door. Man, when that comes on, dude. I'm just like, okay, turn it up, turn it all the way up, because it's just that engrossing. His vocals, the beat, because it's a rudimentary beat. Now, I'm not gonna don't get me wrong, it's not a Dre beat by any standards. It's like Casio keyboard and somebody hitting the desk like with their fingers, that kind of beat. So. But it tells a story, and it is so good. So I really do like that. And another thing that me and the late great Young Bear used to talk about, because you brought up all those Machiavellis and all those Machiavellis, and we used to talk about them, because I'll be like, hey man, he got it's Tupac's lyrics, but they got Afeni Shakur on the beats, like. It's like his mom is like his mom is on the beats. Like, we got to get this stuff out, because those beats were garbage on 90% of those albums. 90% of those Machiavelli albums, it was like it wasn't mixed well. It was like
listen, I'm going to disagree. I'm going to disagree a little bit.
I disagree too.
What I'm going to say is, what I do agree with is they were very poor quality. They did sound like they was made at like aisle 59 on Kmart with the Casio keyboard.
And a duffel bag.
But the beats was kind of cool though. But they was hella low quality.
Yeah.
Well, that's because you might have had a shady dub of a shady dub of a shady dub.
Yeah.
You didn't have the original. You had something that the tape that Muggs was like, yeah, I'm gonna make this for you, and here's $2. Because we was doing that in the dorms. But Mans would come through with the Machiavelli 82, and we was like, oh, like when Columinati, what was it? Machiavelli, the original. Man, we was in college in the dorm rooms. My boy came through with that. Oh shoot, man! He had a third generation dub, and he was making fourth generation dubs, and it was like you could barely hear. It was Pac,
Right.
That's when lyrics take precedence over beats.
See,
Yep.
so also what I've opened up is, I don't want to say it's a Pandora's box, because even my list, I've already wanted to make some substitutions because I don't think people will represent it. I don't represent my taste well, but this is going to be interesting to see how this all goes, because we named heavy hitters. Now a couple of us have, I think all of us had Pac on there except for No Shame, but
They have Pac on there, man. What are you talking about?
you did,
Yeah.
Everybody had Pac.
So everybody had Pac on there. So we could just say Pac's the winner. No, I was playing. So so we could.
But when you match up a Scarface versus a Andre 3000, that's a dilemma.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's
So
real heavy.
It's going to be fun because we're not going to have. So we're not going to be able to all have the same people on there. So whoever is first to get Tupac, is going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. So
Do you eliminate them out of it because you know that? I guess this is the list for the honorable mentions.
Okay.
Like, can I get a silver and a bronze with who I have? Or do you get a gold, but certain mugs is platinum? Like they're beyond reproach.
Okay. Well, I just heard Alex Boddicker went lint, so he's happy about that. He went pocket lint. He's happy. I forgot what I was about to say.
Shout out to Alex Boddicker.
No.
No, I think we all have our groups, and many of them are formidable people when you're in a dogfight for figuring out who is the best. And then that's where, maybe the best isn't the proper topic, but we could go through it. But honorable mentions or underdogs or the underground folks. So when you mention the UGKs, the 8-Ball NJGs, the Currency, the Wiz Khalifas, those who, even the E40s, or Too Shorts,
let me pose this question.
he got his teeth fixed.
Let me pose this question.
So who are those B plus, A minus mugs who are highly touted, formidable, and definitely respectable that don't get necessarily the notoriety or aren't at legendary status?
Okay.
I thought.
Okay. Well, let me ask you. Oh, that's a good one. Well, let me ask you guys though. Should we do a group and a solo?
Jalen Jacoby did it. Why not us?
Whoa.
Hey,
you know what?
man,
You know what? I totally heard something totally different from, and then I realized what you just said. Okay.
Listen a little faster.
No, you know what, man? Look, it's been a long day for me. Okay,
Me too. I'm 3 hours ahead of y'all, bro.
yeah, Marlon. Ain't nobody got time for that. Come on, man. Nobody want to hear about
I'm
long
talking to
ass
MMP.
Yeah, MB. Excuse me.
Yeah, damn, man.
Man, as many times as you use government name on the wire, man.
I never said his name.
Knock that shit off, son.
Yeah, the only person that uses his name is
And
one person.
man, jig is up.
Yeah, everybody know. All right, everybody know Bartholomew. That's who you really are. No, I was playing. I'm just saying. Look, okay, if we gonna take out the top tier, then me taking out, Paperboy. We taking out
Paperboy from ATL?
No, he talking about that Dumb Diddy Paperboy.
Both of them, huh?
We talking about what's the Candyman? We taking out the top tier. That's what we talking about, right?
No, man. Come on, bro.
What?
Come on, bro.
Skilo? I mean, what? Come on. What do we really?
Yeah, we could even do a group of folks who got too much credit. Because I, as much as I love Warren G, Regulate wasn't it. But every other song on the album was hitting. Regulate, yeah, not so much.
Regulate is it's one of those songs that just for the West Coast,
How about that?
It's like it's an anthem. Like you put that on in the club over on the West Coast, and it's just like everybody singing it. Everybody.
Because it was NXT.
It wasn't gangster. It was that G-funk. It was more like a funk
G-funk.
rap.
Rhythm is life.
You know what I'm saying?
And life is rhythm.
Exactly. It was just that sound like that. You used to hear that funk sound, that George Clinton flashlight and Bob Gunn and all that, like that. It was. That's what it reminded me of, like a Bootsy or one of those.
What is it about? What is it about Ice Cube? Because none of us had Ice Cube, and Ice Cube was prolific.
Ice Cube been on the tip of my tongue the whole night.
Dude, I know Ice Cube. Listen, Ice Cube is up there. Ain't nobody taking away like Ice Cube wasn't like no, he wrote rhymes and did all this. But it's like one of those. He's like one of those moguls. He's like one of those like okay, like you.
Friday hit harder than that next album.
Yeah, it's like he's definitely a GOAT. Like he's a GOAT. You mention his name and it's like, damn, like kids today know who he is.
He ventured off more into music, and more into film.
Yeah, but he still touches on it.
Yeah, he's legendary, bro.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Only era I wasn't messing with Ice Cube was when he was like the Don Mega. Other than that, he was raw.
Oh, the cheese, that's Ice Cube.
He had like a little era where he was like the Don Mega. Wasn't
that
really.
May be because he was in that Dub C bag and
it was like, I hated that.
I wasn't really feeling that.
But Dub C Crip walking?
That's legendary.
Keep it gangster, y'all. Keep it gangster, y'all. Keep it gangster. Yeah, that was tight. No,
Dub C's Crip walk was, to me, more influential than Michael Jackson's moonwalk. When he did that, when he hit them, like, let me dust these old dusty Converse off that are still... throwing it up.
Yeah, because
I didn't want to hear nothing else from it.
West Side Connection concerts.
Yep, it was that. Yeah. What song was that? Can't get enough of this gangster.
That's the West Side Connect.
I've seen the Man Circle.
But you know what was so crazy? I mean, you may not know Parks, but like on the West Coast, it's like because you know your Bloods and Crips, like they're in your families and stuff, and so you always got like these old OGs, but then they're like they got that flyness to them, like that old school flyness, and when that beat come on,
is that why YG got on church shoes and tube socks?
Nah, it's just like you seen it. It's like they get to doing it, and you know it. You seen it at like your barbecue function. Like it's something like you seen, like I'm not saying like all the time on a daily basis, but like when you see it, it's like it's not like a negative thing. It brings good thoughts. It's like he boogieing.
Yeah, it's a state of tranquility amongst the violence.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, look, this kind of conversation we can go. And this is what I'm talking about. These are the things that I like because I like, getting into this and reliving these moments of these artists and these songs, how I felt when I first heard them. I can't wait till we get started with this. So, but for right now, we're gonna put a hold to it because it's getting late.
It is.
Old MMB here needs to. Go to sleep, and old Mr. Parks really needs to go to sleep.
I'm good, baby boy. Father's Day coming tomorrow.
Let me tell you something.
Can't wait.
Happy Father's Day, man. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there, man.
Yeah, happy Father's Day to all the fathers.
My son, baby, a birthday beat and a Father's Day beat.
Dope.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. That's what's up.
That man, that Simp, man, I can't get enough of it. I haven't listened to the one that you sent us, but that Simp,
So the album is called Still a Simp, and the first one is called, or EP is called I'm a Simp. And so there are 7 songs on each. Just go through it, man.
Dude.
It's vibe, it's mood.
No, it's much.
He's 16.
Tell him to keep doing it, man. Like my whole thing, man. That's I love seeing like kids like doing that, like getting that grind on their own. You don't have to tell them, but you just keep pumping them up, Yeah. And like I can't wait till my son start doing stuff. I don't know if you're gonna, build rocket ships or being a aquatic swimmer, sports or whatever, but whatever you really want to do, you showing passion, man. I'll break my back to make sure it come true, man, because if you loving what you do, might as well invest in it. Good.
Still a Simp on SoundCloud. Still a Simp on SoundCloud. 7 tracks, all bangers, beat switches.
Oh no, I listen to the whole album.
Yeah, no.
I listened to the whole album.
Yeah.
Guess what?
Like about 3-4 times.
Guess what's getting edited out unless he signs with 72 Dreams recordings.
Okay, Big Suge from Capadella Park.
Big Suge on the low.
Hey man, if you don't want all these haters dancing in the video,
on your SoundCloud, in the comments, trolling,
trying to edit your plug.
Oh,
don't come to 72.
The samples.
You know what I mean? But yeah, man, please check it out. Support young, fresh talent.
He's 16.
Please support it.
And my whole voice.
That is awesome. So, check out the 72 Dreams recording playlist. We got Alex Boddicker, Nancy P. Soon to have. I think we're going to do a collab with No Shame, and then we're going to do another one, hopefully with an artist named Tombstone Chuck. I'm gonna give him a shout out right now. Hopefully we're doing business together soon. And so yeah, that's as of right now. This is the calm before the storm until we start getting in this hip hop battle. So we'll start doing the structure a little bit in a next week or in one of our segments. We'll start breaking it down and then it's gonna be on. So, do you have anything else, Parks? I know you shout out your son, but do you have anything else?
No, just especially shout out to my son. I'm going to put the link to his latest EP from SoundCloud out tomorrow on my social media so that people can hear him. And to all of our listeners, I love y'all. And I'm hitting y'all with the people's elbow because this is for the people. So you might as well get the elbow to go with it and smell what I'm cooking.
I can dig it. All right, No Shame.
Not much, but people need to slow their ass down, man. In order to move fast, you got to slow down. Beat those mathematics. Get your mind right.
Oh, I like
Slow
that.
down.
I like that.
Slow down.
Nubian.
All right.
Nubian. Slow down.
Oh, that was one of my cuts too. Ooh, I love that song. Anyway, Monte God.
Oh, while people that's out there right now, keep your foot on the gas. I know people get a little lax, and I know we've been doing our thing. People in the movement's going on. It's still happening. I don't want anybody to lose their focus. Keep your foot on the gas. Keep pressing forward. And all I got to say after that is Happy Father's Day to all the fathers that's out there in their kids' lives, making a difference, man. All appreciate it.
Yeah, to the real fathers, no scum buckets.
Yeah, to the
scum buckets who don't want to take responsibility.
I ain't talking
get
about
no love.
And
I'm talking about the dudes that be picking their kid up, going to drop them off somewhere else.
Yeah, no scum buckets.
Yeah.
We talking about people just doing their duty and just not tripping off of it. Just doing what God told them to do. None of this phony bullshit, man.
Y'all enjoy y'all day, man.
For sure. You two enjoy your day. I'm gonna call my mom in the morning because she played both roles, so I always tell her Happy Father's Day as well because she did the role, the job of two.
Lady.
That's right, lady. Happy Father's Day.
Sure.
So, but follow me at MNB72 on Twitter. I don't have anything else. If you just support your boys, man. Just listen to us. We real stuff. We try to come with you and come at you with some real thought provoking stuff, and also kind of give you a little bit of a laugh. But all I got to say is my usual. Oxman stand up, and the marathon continues.
What's a horseman to an oxman?
MC.
All right. That's right. Until next time, party people!
MC.
They're out because that tag team back again, classic. That's Diamond. They're out. They're out.
I mean.
Halftime